I'm gonna give you guys a little something to chew on. Riddle me this. What is better than a Honda with one eBay turbo? While you think about it, I'm also gonna let you know that the gas and clutch socks, custom made 5.3 gas clutch socks, are gonna be live on Monday, along with the rest of the drop. I'm gonna move some cars out of the garage, and we're gonna get started on the Civic. Something I did the past few days is I've gotten the alignment correct on the Civic. So obviously there's a lot of negative camber. I got the toe correct. You can kind of see like I have my toe plates out. So the camber is pretty much even on both sides. And then on the rear as well, this side, if you guys remember, had a lot more negative camber than one side. So I went ahead and fixed that. I put a little bit less negative camber. I tried to roll the fenders, but the car is so like slammed, not even slammed, but because there's so little space between the hub and the fender itself, my fender roller couldn't get short enough to roll the fenders. So I might have to like modify the fender roller in some extent, or I don't really know exactly what I can do, but I'll have to try and figure it out because I have to roll and pull these fenders if I want this to work without having any issues. Going over here, I obviously have a lot of stuff left over from the other turbo build from the Honda. It's actually, believe it or not, been like 2 months now, and so I really am I'm really ready to get this going. Where is the other turbo? Nice, got some styrofoam in it. Obviously, with the last build, it was just all smiles. It was some of the most fun stuff I've ever done, and I missed that. It was really fun, but I thought to myself, why do the exact same thing over again? I got to thinking, and I was talking to Ethan the other day. I was like, you know what would be a better idea than to just have one T3 turbo? Because if you guys don't remember, if you guys didn't, or I don't know if you guys paid attention much in the video, but this, I mean, it's a 50 AR and it's a T3, so it's a pretty small turbo, but like it took forever to spool. And so Ethan and I were talking, and we were like, what if we do 2 turbos? So for visual representation, I got something to show you. Why not have a smaller turbo compound feeding the bigger turbo so that you can have some spool with the small turbo, but the small turbo feeding the big turbo can get the high boost, quick spool, high boost. This is not the turbo I'm going to use. I did just order one, but this is actually a stock or an upgraded WRX turbo, like the Blob-Eye that I had. Speaking of, if anybody wants to buy this, I'll sell it for like $100. So the idea is get a T25 turbo, a smaller one, feeding the big one. And here's the fun thing about that. I am going to be able to use almost none of the parts that I used before. I was going to just literally slap this other turbo right on. Like I was going to take this manifold and not do anything. Like it would take me 3 hours probably to get this ready. I mean, I would obviously have to drill oil lines and stuff, but like bolt the manifold on, turbo's already on it, wastegate's already on that, exhaust is already on it, intercooler piping's already made. I could get this turbo set up on this car in 1 day, no problem. But what's the fun in that? So I've never seen anybody on YouTube do 2 eBay turbos, 2 compound eBay turbos into a Civic. And so that is what we're going to do. The main thing I expect from myself is to smile and have fun. This world is full of negativity and it's full of sadness. It's full of depression and anxiety. And one of the cheapest methods to coping with that is laughter and it's excitement. And you know what? If this car absolutely is just dog slow after it's done, I don't care. Because you know how fun it's going to be one of the first people to do something like this? And to laugh the whole way and to make you guys laugh the whole way. That's what matters to me. That's what I do on the channel. A lot of people focus on driving or focus on this or that. Like, I obviously love building cars. And I do it pretty well. But laughter is my favorite thing in the world. And what's not more laughable than 2 eBay turbos on a Honda Civic? Now, one of the things I want to do today is I need to take one of the few things I can actually reuse. I need to take the old intercooler and I need to get it fit up on the car. I just need to basically get this fit on the car, and what I need to do is trim the bumper so that I can actually run an intercooler and a bumper at the same time. I'm hoping that this intercooler is not too big to where I have to like ruin the front bumper or take all of it off or most of it out. I want to make it clean. I want to have a bumper on it this time. I will probably just have scream pipes coming out the hood again. I was thinking about doing a single turbo, you know, with a full exhaust to make it nice, but like, who knows? Because I'm going to be doing so much fab work, why not send an exhaust boy, screamy boy, right out there? Brainstorming is fun. But the most fun thing is whenever Evan's crazy brainstorming comes to life. Ooh, that's the best. Jerome, what you think about this whole situation, my dude? You mean that, bro? Are you serious? I can kiss you right now. Why? I think this is what we needed for Honda V2, bro. You know what I mean? Like, the first one was exciting. But like, you know, if I did the same thing on the second one, it just wouldn't have been nearly as fun. You get that. Full send or no send. All right, so I need to take off this front bash bar and then see how, I think it should fit pretty similarly to the other one. This little upper beam right here is just a tad different, but it seems to be pretty much the same for right here. Now, all we gotta do is raise the car up a little bit more and see how she fits. She's obviously gonna fit, but... Oh yeah. Okay, we are on pretty temporarily. This time I am gonna actually get like a bracket made to go under the little bezel right here. So whenever I get everything fabricated, when we do the twin turbo stuff, I'm gonna make sure that we go ahead and get some sort of bracketry made, like some sort of C-shape, C-clamp that I can bolt into this, because I definitely want a little bit more this time around. For this, I need to probably go ahead and start trimming off a lot of this stuff. I'm definitely gonna chop this off. That doesn't even need to be there. So with minimal pieces removed, it looks like we actually can get the bumper on. That looks mean. So right now it's obviously an intercooler. There's nothing connected to it, but it's times like right now when I'm not like super occupied with the turbo build, when I need to take some time and do little stuff like this so that things can fit when everything's said and done. I love the way this thing looks, dude. So a little bit of a sleepy, that's cool. You can see the intercooler. It's a little crooked, but we'll fix that, no worries. So, hi, gloves are off. Essentially, there are two different ways you can do a twin turbo setup. Obviously, there's like multiple stages of ways you can do this, but like just for simplicity, a parallel setup or a true twin turbo setup, where you have two of the exact same size of turbos powering the motor at the same time. That's how the 1JZ does it. With this setup, this is going to be a sequential setup. It's a compound sequential setup. The lower RPM is going to activate the smaller Yeah, what's up, dude? Yeah, so basically, the one that you're holding right now, that one is going to start spooling up at the lower RPMs. It's also going to feed power to the second stage of turbo. It's this little guy over here. Can you have it? Sure, yeah. It's not too much for you, buddy? So what would happen is this little guy, which again, this is not the exact one that I'm going to be using. In theory, this one would spin first, and then that would give me enough power to start spinning that one. So this little guy will help this big guy spool up, and we'll have double the fun. Jerome, you look like a freaking unit right now, dude. Jerome, you are just swagged out to the core. Look at this guy. Just a side note, guys. Don't ever tell me I can't do something, because it's gonna happen if you do. Ethan came up with the idea. I said bet, and it's already happening. We've got pistons and rods on the way. We're gonna build the motor, and it's gonna be able to hold a little bit more. And I do have the T25 turbo on the way. I will make a video and update you guys when it's here. I'll explain why I chose which one I chose. It is going to be another Chinese choo-choo boy. I still want to be able to do things you guys can afford. I would never suggest doing this, but if you wanted to do this, like both turbos are about $100 a piece. It's not the best idea. Actually, no. Shut up, Evan. It is the best idea in the world. We do have a lot to get busy on with this. So I hope you guys are stoked about it. I know Jerome is. Jerome is so stoked that he's like asleep right now. Guys, I want to tell you something. Sometimes in your life, it takes a very, very, very long time to get to where you want to be. In college, I always struggled with school. I have super mega ADD. I think one of the most defining moments in my life, looking back now, was when I was in college. I had a pretty good GPA because I had an Adderall addiction, so you know, I could obviously do well in school with that. I applied to 25 jobs. 25 jobs my junior year of college, and I didn't get a single call back. Not one. And at the time, I felt like I was just the biggest failure. And even at the time, my YouTube channel wasn't doing that well. And I really felt like I was just a failure. But I look back at that moment and I'm so incredibly thankful that not a single company called me back. Because I was so ready to just get my life going that I would have taken any job that was handed to me. And if I would have been handed any of those jobs, I literally, whatever you're looking, the things you're looking at right now, not that life is about material possessions, but I would have none of this. I would probably have zero of all of this. My point is, life's gonna be crappy. You're gonna go through times where you really feel like all you're doing is failing. And sometimes it might take 5, 10, 15 years to understand why something happened in your life. But what I want you to know is that those little failures do not define you. How you overcome them, how you deal with them, and how you move on with life and keep going is what defines you. Take it from me, somebody who couldn't even get offered a job, but now has cooler cars than, I didn't even think I'd own a car like this before I was 40. Take it from me, I still have a long way to go, and I'm excited. And I feel like I fail on a lot of aspects every single day, but no matter what, I keep pushing. I keep doing my best, and I want to encourage you guys to do the same. That's my daily advice for you guys today. Take it and run with it. Peace out. Hope you're stoked for the twin turbo Civic build. We're doing it crazy, because that's just what I like to do. Peace. Woo! I'm out of breath right now. Jerome, how you feeling, dude? Oh, you can't see subtitles in this, so they can't, you know, never mind. I heard you, bro. Don't worry about it. Watch those 2 videos, and I'll catch you later.